Graphs and tables have numbers. For this, we have to use the word number often. For example, here we would write that the number of residents was approximately 60,000. There is no perfect synonym for this word that works everywhere. So instead, we usually change the sentence structure. So instead of writing the number of residents in Manhattan, we can change the sentence structure and write sentences like Manhattan's population stood at, or it had approximately these many inhabitants or residents. So we don't always need the word number, we use different types of sentences instead. Another very useful word is figure. Figure means a number from data. It is one of the best words to avoid repetition in task 1. We often use it instead of repeating a long phrase. When we use the figure or this figure, it must refer to a number mentioned in the previous sentence. In this example, we have first mentioned the numbers for Manhattan. Then, instead of repeating, in 2000, other districts had these many residents, we write this figure for the other districts was. The word figure can also be used when we talk about changes in the same place over time. For example, the population of Manhattan was around 60,000 in 1800, and then instead of saying that the population of Manhattan increased to 1.8 million, we write the figure increased to 1.8 million by 1900. Keep some rules in mind about how to use the phrase this figure or the figure. We don't start a paragraph with this because it must always refer to something just mentioned. For example, this sentence, the figure rose over time. On its own, this sentence is incomplete. We need to mention in the previous sentence what the figure is. So here the population of other districts was about 18,000 in 1800. So when we say the figure rose over time, we are talking about the population of other districts. Another very important rule is that if more than one number appears in the previous sentence, don't use this figure. In this example, population of Manhattan is mentioned and then population of other districts is mentioned. So this figure is referring to which number? We don't know. This is confusing and wrong. There are slightly advanced ways of using it, but be careful if you use these. It should not be confusing and data should not be wrong or unclear. In the first example, we mentioned two figures in the first sentence. But then instead of this figure, we write both these figures. So we are conveying that both of the figures in the previous sentence increased. Similarly, in the second example, two figures are mentioned in the first sentence, but we use the word former. Former means we are talking about the first thing mentioned. So here, former refers to Manhattan. If instead of former we had used latter, it would have referred to the other districts. In the third example, we use the word respectively. Respectively means the numbers match the items in the same order. So the first number, 2 million, refers to the first thing, Manhattan, and the second number, 3.5 million, refers to the second thing, the other districts. But remember, we need to be careful with sentences like these. It is always better to write short, simple sentences that are clear rather than long sentences that may confuse the reader.